Hi guys, I wanted to make this very personal video about something that I've been going through for the past months, something that I found out about me, nothing life-threatening, but it definitely did change my life. It's very personal. Some people might not agree because I'm sharing this, just because it's very personal and like not a lot of people talk about this, especially in the Hispanic community. Because it all ties into like basically infertility, like having kids and stuff like that. But I wanted to make this video because I want to share what I have in hopes that maybe out there somewhere someone that I know has this or might not have it or can go check themselves out early, so that way like they can start taking care of themselves and going through the proper steps necessary if you want to, I don't know, have kids, or maybe you have you just want to be healthier overall, and maybe you're trying to lose weight and you just don't know why it's not working out. So basically I'm just going to cut to the chase. But I was diagnosed with PCOS. It's polycystic ovarian syndrome. Basically, like, the symptoms are acne, oily skin, facial hair, weight gain, infertility issues, heavy periods, abnormal periods, light, irregular, or non-existing periods. So one of the other symptoms is you might have cyst in your ovary, and other people, like, either you have cyst in your ovary or you don't. It just depends on your body if you have cyst or if you don't have cyst, but that's one of the other symptoms. I guess I can talk about the symptoms that I have. So one of the symptoms that I have is oily skin. I have very oily skin. I've always suffered from that. One of the other issues that I have is infertility. I've been trying to get pregnant for a very long time, which that is a whole nother story. And then my periods are like, maybe they last about 7 days. The beginning, it's like 2 full heavy days, and then the rest, like from day 3 to day 7, it's like spotting, but it still lasts 7 days. So the whole reason why I found out that I had PCOS is because, let me take you back, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. So I've been with Rigo since 2007, and yeah, we would take care of ourselves, like he would protect himself, and I was never on the pill, but since then, and it's not like we were in the beginning, we weren't trying to have kids or anything like that because we weren't that serious into the relationship. But once the year started going by, and fast forward all the way to 2013, 2014, I was starting to talk about Rigo about, okay, like, it's time for us to have kids and stuff like that. And I went to the doctor so that way they can see what was going on in my body, what was happening, why wasn't I conceiving, basically why wasn't I getting pregnant. So I went to the doctor and they checked me and they ran my blood and stuff like that, and it wasn't anything to find out if I had any of these, like PCOS or endometriosis or anything other that was preventing me from getting pregnant. All they did was like run blood to check like some other levels that basically to see if you're like ovulating or not. So basically everything came out okay. Every month we would have to take these blood tests, and that was when he started putting me on Clomid. So Clomid is a pill where it helps you ovulate, so that way you can it would be a greater chance for you to get pregnant. Obviously, I took it for about 3 to 4 months. I can't remember. But I took about 3 to 4 months and nothing happened. And if you haven't heard about Clomid, it has very strong side effects. So one of them being is like you gain a lot of weight. So I gained all of this weight because of that pill. And then whenever I started going to the doctor, like from the beginning of the process of when I started going to the doctor, and then when I ended going to the doctor, like I had already been paying like $3,000 out of pocket, and it was just too much. And then after taking these pills for like 4 months, I just decided to stop because it was taking a toll on my body, and it just wasn't happening. Nothing was happening. I wasn't getting pregnant. So then I started concentrating on my life, and I stopped going to the doctor, or stopped like trying, I guess. I just forgot about it. And obviously I never got pregnant. And up until, we got married last year and in September, and like I'm 31, and Rigo is like, he wants a baby, and everyone around me has a baby. All my sisters have kids, and it's only me. I don't have kids. And it's very hard because I'm only getting older. So I told Rigo, okay, like I have to go to the doctor. I have to see what's happening. Why am I not getting pregnant? I want to know like if I'm ever going to be able to have kids or not. So I went and I got, they run a lot of blood tests and stuff like that. And when I went to the doctor, he had asked if like certain questions and stuff like that made him believe that I might have a mild case of endometriosis, which I don't think it was that severe, but he did say like you might have a mild case of endometriosis, which that in itself is another thing. But then he ran the blood test, and I got the blood test like I think a week or 2 weeks later, and they hadn't called me, they hadn't said anything. So I was getting worried. I was like, why haven't they called me? So I called, and when I called, the nurse said, oh yeah, I have your results. Everything came out normal except for you have PCOS. So since I already knew what PCOS was, and I know a friend that has PCOS, to me, it was like the end of the world because my friend can't have kids. I was just thinking the worst whenever this nurse told me over the phone that I had PCOS, and I started crying and bawling at work, and I just left. I couldn't be there anymore, and it was a very sad day for me because that's just like, am I even a woman, or like why is this happening? I came home and I literally like went to bed, and I was like crying. I cried myself to sleep, and I told myself I am not gonna feel bad about myself the next day. I'm only gonna give myself this day to feel bad because yes, I have PCOS, but yes, there are still other things that we can do to get myself pregnant. So I went to the doctor, and then they explained to me what I had and stuff like that. And then it turns out that women with PCOS, also, it's like basically like it all has to do with your hormone levels. And they told me that I had to start taking this pill called metformin. So metformin, if you don't know what it is, it's basically a pill to prevent from getting diabetes. So, and then whenever they ran my blood test, I had high cholesterol. And then if you can just imagine me getting PCOS, me having high cholesterol, and me taking metformin, it was just like everything all together coming down, and it was just very hard for me because it's like, it's very scary when you're going through this and you just don't know what's going on, what's happening. But basically, the doctor told me that there were certain steps that I needed to do before trying to conceive, and one of those steps was me taking an HSG procedure, and it's basically like a catheter going into your cervix and washing your tubes. I went through that, and it was one of the most horrible experiences of my life. If I went in there, And basically it's like if you're getting a pap smear, you're wide open and they're doing like a pelvic exam, and then they enter a speculum into your vagina, and then a narrow tube, it says here, I'm reading off this pamphlet that they gave me. It says a narrow tube will be placed into the cervical opening, and contrast liquid or saline will be injected into the uterine cavity and fallopian tube. So basically they're just gonna put a tube into my cervix to wash the tubes out. So imagine being there, laying down with your legs wide open and them doing stuff there. And it was very uncomfortable. The doctor and the technician, the ultrasound technician, they were going back and forth and trying to figure out why they couldn't insert the tube into the cervix. And they were going back and forth, and they're like, oh, I think it's an inverted uterus, or she has a tilted cervix. So it was like all these things, and they were going back and forth. And mind you, when he's like down there, like I am hurting because he's like moving stuff around, like moving my uterus, moving my cervix. Like he was like moving everything down. Finally, he realized that my cervix was completely shut. So imagine your cervix like this, and then this is a tube. They had to forcefully open my cervix, and that was very painful. I was not under any anesthesia, and basically like they got in and they were able to flush my tubes. But while they were flushing my tubes, you feel like this cramping in your stomach. Like if you feel that period cramps are maybe to a level 5, these cramps while they were washing your tubes out were to a level of 50. That's what I was going through. And then they washed it 2 times, and it was just like, it was very, 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 very painful. So basically I got that done, and now the next steps is to try to see if I can get pregnant anytime soon. And I know this is a very long video, but I really wanted to make this video because I want to encourage everyone out there to get tested and make sure you pressure your doctor and them telling you if you have anything, because I'm 31 years old. I found out I had PCOS at 31 years old. I could have found out that I had PCOS a long time ago with my other doctors, and they just never, I don't, maybe it's my fault because I never went through a whole physical. I just really wanted to make this video because I know a lot of people tell me like, oh, Carmen, when are you gonna get pregnant and stuff like that, and it will be all in God's timing. It's very hard. I want to have a kid. I want to have a baby. I want to create a family with Rigo. That is like one of my biggest desires in this world, is to have a baby. And I know like everything is in God's time, and I might be sharing a lot of information with you guys, but I really just wanted to make this video because I know that someone out there is going through something like that. You're not alone. I'm here for anyone that like or has questions and they want them to be answered. Like I can help you. I have a good doctor that I got recommended, and I would totally like help you out and try to see if, I don't know, I can give you some words of encouragement, because going through something like this is very tough, and I just know it's not the end of the world, and I know that God has a plan, and I know that I will have my family very, very soon. So yeah, I guess just wanted to share this with you guys. And again, I know it's a very personal video, but I wanted to share this because I wanted to be real. And yeah, bye.